I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today, the Arakwal people of the Bundjalung Nation, and pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. Are you ready to win at the game of life? Well, throw out that rulebook and get down to the business of being the best and most authentic version of you. Welcome to the Human Design Podcast. We're changing the rules around success, abundance, purpose, love, and life, where we're creating a planet where everyone can thrive in a world that loves and supports each other. I'm your host, Emma Dunwoody, a qualified master coach, human design expert, podcaster, and entrepreneur that is living the life of my dreams, breaking all the rules while doing it, making a huge impact, and living my design and manifesting miracles on the daily. Join me as I break down and simplify everything you need to live in alignment with your human design, teach you how to recondition your unconscious mind for greatness, and to take back your power so you can manifest your heaven on earth and serve the rest of the planet at the same time. It's time to give up the fear and step into your highest potential, to reach for the stars, to know and live your greatness. It's what you deserve, and it's what the planet really needs from you. So buckle up and enjoy the ride. Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode. Well, how are you? How are you feeling? Welcome back. Yes, I've done a couple of little podcasts between December and January. However, this is my official first day back of podcasting, which is so exciting. I can't wait to share some really cool things with you. And I want to ask you first, how has your 2024 kicked off? Has it been a goodie? Did you take the time to go back and review your 2023? Like I shared with you in the podcast episode, did you? Well, I hope you really did. I hope you took the time to really mine for the gold of 2023, because I really believe that 2024 is going to be a cracker. I've been listening to so many different astrologers and energy healers and energy reports and people talking about this year that's ahead of us. And I tell you what, one of the significant themes is that everything is speeding up. Things are going to be moving faster. Manifestations are going to happen quicker. This transition that we're in, from a human design perspective, we're talking about the new paradigm in 2027. However, whatever your ethos is, we are in the age of Aquarius and things are starting to shift and change. And it's going to be between now and 2027 where we really it's like things are going to speed up. We have to be willing to do the heavy lifting. The heavy lifting isn't going to be as hard as it always used to be because we'd have to do it over and over and over again. But this really is a time where we're being invited in to really step into the greatest versions of ourselves. So please keep that in mind for 2024. I was listening to Lee Harris's energy report for the year, and he was like, January, most of the time, most years, January is the month where we have downtime. We get to rest and recover. But this year we're going to hit the ground running because we're setting ourselves up for this really big few years that we're going to have. And well, that's exactly what happened for us, exactly what happened. But before I talk about my January, I want to talk about 2023. And I want to talk about goals and manifestation and how I learned such a powerful lesson at the end of 2023. And we just recently in HDX had an incredible session with Elizabeth Ralph, who is the spiritual investor, in case people don't know who I'm talking about, and a very dear friend of mine, where she really helped my community set up for 2024 and really get their head around money and wealth and really the frequency of money and abundance. And in that class, we talked about a lot of, obviously, money manifestation. And one of the stories that I shared was at the end of 2023, this year, we'd set a goal for ourselves to hit our first 7-figure year. And at the beginning of December, we still had a little way to go, but I just knew we were going to get there. T was like, it's already done. However, I was going down this road of really forcing a particular thing out into the world, of forcing myself to continually show up, even though I was freaking exhausted. of really like operating from the mind, And I was talking to Nikki, the incredible Nikki Rowley, who is this consultant that we're working with. And Nikki's like, Em, just call it. You guys are so close. You're about 60, 70 grand off. She's like, you're so close. I think you're actually going to get more value out of resting. Because I was really experiencing this huge theme of slowing down. Like everything that was coming in was like, slow down, slow down, slow down. I was like, okay, I am going to take your advice, oh wise one, and I will stop trying to push and force this thing. And the thing that I was trying to push and force out into the world, well, it was just magical. The fact that I let go of forcing and pushing and shoving things out into the world gave it this whole new life, this whole new birth. Like I built this new thing in a way that I'd never built something before. And it was better than anything I'd ever done before. And it felt spacious and abundant and easy and so valuable. So I was learning this great lesson of like, okay, well, when I slow down, I can create even better. I can do even better. However, there was this part of me that was like, I hear you. However, I'm not going to let go of this 7-figure goal. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not up for it. It was something that we wanted to do. And I'm building trust in myself, others, and the universe. This is a very big path of mine at the moment. Like every time we go to a new level in success in any area of our life, we're going to have to double down on trust. Because ultimately trust is the gateway to self-love. Okay, if we can trust ourselves, then we'll love ourselves. If we can trust the universe, then we'll love the universe. If we can trust others, then we'll love others. And the reason why is because otherwise we stay in fear. Otherwise we stay in the mind. We keep the heart closed. We need trust and consistency to be able to really crack open the heart. Now, ultimately, we need to move our trust from anything external internal, okay? And once we build the trust in ourselves and in our connection with source, in our ability to manifest whatever we want to manifest, to heal our trauma, to call in the people that we love, so on and so forth. When we do these things, then we have obviously an external reality that we feel deeply trusting in. Anyway, so I let go of the thing and I kept on my merry little path around this 7-figure year. Now, I just want to bring you forward to this call that we had in HDX with Elizabeth Ralph, and she was talking about how in many cases what happens when it comes to money is that people, they put their energy on the shelf. So they set their money goal, they deal with their beliefs, they think they're fixing their frequency, and then ultimately it's like they wait for something to come in. But ultimately, as Elizabeth was talking about it, she's like, you put that energy on the shelf. So I'm bringing you back to 2023 in December. I've let go of the thing, but not the 7-figure goal. And what I chose to do, and at the time, I didn't realize that this is the way Elizabeth talked about it. What I didn't do was put my energy on the shelf. I was like, this thing is still going to happen. I don't know how. I don't know what the thing is, but what am I going to do? I'm going to follow my strategy and authority, and I'm going to trust that it's going to get me there. Well, sure enough, what happened was first, as Christmas approached, I saw all these Boxing Day sales. And I never discount my products, ever, 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 because it's like, I don't want to discount my product because it discounts the value of the brand and ultimately me. So I never discount my products. However, this time, seeing all of these things in my external reality, all these Boxing Day sales, there was something in me that responded. And I was like, I think we're going to do a Boxing Day sale this year. It just gives people that, maybe those people that, want that opportunity to jump in and maybe they just need that little bit, I don't know. Let's just do it. So we do the Boxing Day sale. Well, the Boxing Day sale was a freaking success, wasn't it? And we're like, wow, holy crap, we didn't see this coming. The Boxing Day sale is a success. And then something else miraculous happened. As many of you may or may not know, I was interviewed on Gaia last year as a human design expert on Open Minds with the awesome Regina Meredith, and it was meant to come out in February this year, but they put it out between Christmas and New Year. And well, the moment it was put out, our entire back-end system just went crazy. all of this activity started happening, things started flowing in. And I remember saying to T, like literally laughing, like, oh my God, we couldn't have done this. Like we couldn't have consciously created this. It just happened. It was this feather-like commitment to the 7-figure goal and the willingness to give up my attachment to how to get there. And what was so cool is like T messaged me at about 12 o'clock on the 31st of December and she said, all right, we're just about there. I think we're about 30K off it. Let's call it. We're there. And I was like, okay, fair enough. We'll call it. An hour later, before I'd even got the chance to respond to that message, she was like, we've done it. We've crossed it. We crossed the 7 figures for 2023. Well, this was catalytic for my belief systems and the trust in myself and the universe. Why? Because off the back of that, we set ourselves a goal for 2023 for January of 100K for January, and boom, straight away we hit it. And historically, January is our quietest month. So straight off the ball, we're just rolling into it. And one of the things that I want to say, and the reason why I tell this story, as well as the do not leave your energy on the shelf, people, is that is what this year is going to be all about. So if you're willing to get the ball rolling and roll with it, then you can expect some really big wins and rewards. Now, I don't know how many of you know, but this year, collectively, we're in an 8 year, meaning that there's a lot of power, success, and money. That is, all this energy of these things up for grabs. So if we're focused on these things, then it's almost going to be easier to receive those things from the universe. So if you're like me and you've hit the ground running in 2024, then I really want you to double down and back yourself. I really want you to double down and back yourself. Like one of the crazy, beautiful things that I'm seeing this year, as I don't know if you guys know this, is that we've got all of these, as you know, guest teachers in HDX. And Elijah Parker from the Gene Keys has actually already started his program. Elizabeth Ralph starts this week. And it is mind-blowing. Like, oh my goodness. And I've done the activation sequence a number of times. I've done the Gene Keys program. But doing it in person with Elijah has been incredible. And watching my entire community double down on who they're becoming this year and really getting into their genius, it's just, it makes my freaking heart sing. And on top of all of that, it's really powerful from my perspective that I've created something that is so aligned to who I am. So I don't have to do all the teaching. I don't have to carry all the load. I don't have to be the expert on everything. And I can be the student. I can be here with this amazing community that I've created. Like I really am creating my heaven on earth. And my heaven on earth, this is important for all of you. When I create my heaven on earth, I create this extraordinary community through the work that I do and serve the planet. Now, you want some of that? Yeah, you freaking do. Of course you freaking do. We set this huge intention on Elizabeth Ralph's class last week that HDX community was going to be the most wealthy, abundant, loving and supportive community globally. We are going to grow our collective wealth far beyond our wildest dreams. And then we're going to go out and teach everyone else to do the same thing. So that stuff really, really lights me up. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because this is my dream come true. And my dreams are now manifesting beyond my wildest dreams. Like the coolest things are happening and I'm so incredibly grateful for them. And I want this for you. I want this for you. So I want to tell you a little story about the planning that I did for 2024. And this is how I do it each year. But this year I've really settled into the human design calendar. So I actually planned throughout. So we did our planning in October for the business last year. Then we left it. And then in January, we revisited it. And for me personally, all through January, because one of my words for 2024, actually I think it's going to be one of my words full stop, is Wonderland. So I spent the whole of January just working through what would Wonderland look and feel like for me in health and well-being, in business, in relationships. So I went through each part of that. Then, of course, I wrote myself the letter from my future self, sat down, got into my meditation. This is a class that we do in HDX as well. So sat in meditation, connected to my future self, then got her to scribe me a letter from the 31st of December this year. So I've got all of this work. It's all in my diary, because those of you who've been listening for a while, I love a passion planner. And took the time to really get super clear on all of these things. Then I shut the book on all of that. And now I'm just living every day, being present and being super conscious of my frequency. Okay, I'm going to talk more about frequency in just a moment. Now, I got a question for you. Get out a piece of paper and a pen, maybe a journal. This is really important. This is my fundamental question that always kicks me off for every year. And this year it's 2024. So the question for you is, what would make 2024 the best year ever so far? Now, you might feel called to press pause and journal on that right now. You might feel called, like me, as an emotional authority, to write it down and take time out later when it's super calm and quiet. I also have touch calm, so I need a calm environment to really access my awareness. What would make 2024 the best year ever so far? Now, one of the answers that I really want you to sit with, because this is what I actually think is going to make the best year ever so far for everybody, is knowing yourself better than you've ever known yourself before. Because most of us are out there banging up against our conditioned self, which is holding us back and throwing out these subconscious grenades, like blowing up our life, having all of these things that aren't going the way that we want them to go. However, if we know ourselves better than we've ever known ourselves, and of course, how are we going to do that, people? Human design and the gene keys, of course. Then we don't have subconscious grenades. We have lessons. We have growth. We go, oh, wow, there's my core wound right there. This is an opportunity for growth, alignment, authenticity. This is really what's going to make 2024 the best year ever, because you're going to know yourself better than you've ever known yourself before, and you're going to be living from a confidently authentic place and creating success in all areas of your life from that place. Sound good? I hope it does, because this is the thing that I fundamentally believe is going to change the world. I really believe that when we are operating from this authentic success, so really creating and developing this confident, authentic version of ourselves, especially through human design and the gene keys, it gives us this very clear black and white path to that. And when we're doing that, I really fundamentally believe that we're the ones that are bridging from the old world to the new world. And when we really, really back ourselves from this confident, authentic space, then we're basically shepherding the entire planet through the frame of human design, we call the new paradigm, into this world where it's going to be really, really different. So the only way we can do that is to know ourselves at this deeply authentic level and have the courage to be ourselves at this deeply authentic level. Sound good? Awesome. Well, that's a big high-ended stuff. That's big up and out there. I want you to take time. I want you to sit with it. What would make 2024 the best year ever? But I want to give you another tip that's been a game changer for me over the years, because oftentimes I would assume that I'm not doing very well, whether it's I'm trying to grow my social media following, I'm trying to earn more money, I'm trying to, improve the programs that I'm putting out there. I noticed over the years that I would assume that I'm doing a lot worse than I actually am. So one of the things that, as soon as Taylor became a part of the business, one of the things we did all the time was we tracked our numbers. And this would be a real game changer. So if you're sitting at this place, maybe you've just started a business, you're thinking about getting into the business, you're starting to earn money, and you're like, oh my God, it's just not enough. I want you to track your money. I want you to, one of the things that I did in my passion planner, and I still do it to this day, is every day the money comes in through Stripe, I write it down in my journal, in my diary. And what that does is it actually shows me the money that is actually coming in. before I did this, it was like all the money that existed before I paid the bills. So money would come in, then I would pay all the bills, I'd do all the things, and then there'd be like nothing left, or just enough to, pay for the groceries or whatever. And I would only ever focus on the bit that I had for the groceries. I wouldn't focus on all the money that was coming in, or the fact that I had the money to, I don't know, do something. I don't know. So what I really want to encourage you to do this year, no matter how uncomfortable it is, and we're having so many of these conversations in HDX, is that I want you to look at your money. I want you to track your money, okay? I want you to actually see what's coming in every day, every week, every month, because I want you to notice that when you feel good about tracking the money that's coming in, and that's a habit, people, a habit of tracking the money and a habit of feeling good about the money that's coming in and the money that's going out, then you'll start to notice that you're going to attract more of it, okay? The other things that I want you to do is I want you to track other areas of growth. So maybe it's your emotions. Maybe you do it out of 10. 0 is I feel absolutely rubbish. 10, I'm on top of the world. 0 to 10. Put a number in your journal, in your diary, whatever it is for you. Track it. Because once you see these numbers grow over time and ebb and flow, you're like, wow, I'm doing a lot better than I thought I was doing. And this is a time where we really have to be on our own, team. We have to really develop this trust in ourselves. And if we're not measuring these simple things, then we're not going to know how well we're doing, okay? The other thing is socials. Like, are you tracking your socials? In HDX, we just did this social media challenge for January where we all just promised to be on social media every day. They had everyone had a plan to respond to or to invited to share on. We did a couple of calls to check in, help people understand their social numbers. And it's just fantastic. Like, all of a sudden people are like, wow, like there really are people watching me. I thought no one was paying attention, but really there are people paying attention. So these things really help with that frequency, right? Because as I have on my phone, do you change your thing every year on your phone? Like, I don't have a photo of everything. I always have a quote, right? And my quote this year was actually given to me by Nikki Rowley. Well, she didn't give it to me. She just, I saw this and thought of you. Is life doesn't respond to my effort, it responds to my frequency. So for me, it's all about frequency. That's what I'm really, really focusing on. So when you're measuring these things, you're going to be like, wow, this is fun. You can gamify it. That's what I did. I'm a line 3. I like to be playful. So please, I encourage you, I invite you to do those things. And they don't have to be hard. Again, in HDX, we're helping people set this up really, really easily. Now, I want to talk about manifesting. I've got to be quick because I've got to go and pick up my son from school. Manifesting. This is speeding up. I keep hearing this everywhere. Everything I'm listening to, if I'm on Gaia, I'm on a podcast, and wherever I am, I'm hearing that manifesting is speeding up. And I'm hearing this other thing. Don't get caught in the details, which is such a sigh of relief for me, because the more I get caught in the details, the more I don't feel great about it. I feel like it's a thing I have to do. I feel like, oh my God, I've got to get it right. I've got to get it clear. I've got to get it, blah, 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 blah. But actually, and I heard a channeler talking about this yesterday on something I was watching. She's like, you just have to ask yourself, what would it feel like if I made $10,000? What would it feel like if I went on holiday every school holidays? What would it feel like if I was with the partner of my dreams? Like, all you need is the vibe. All you need is how that feels. You don't need the details, because all of this is speeding up. So when it comes to your manifesting, I would just encourage you just to play around. Obviously, we all know that I get a lot of downloads in the shower, in the bathroom. It's like a freaking portal back there. But one of the things that I will often do is when I find myself with some time, like I went to Quantum Uplift this morning, I'm on the oxygen machine, I've got 16 minutes, and I'm just feeling the frequency of what it would feel like to be flying first class. Just the frequency of it. I'm feeling the frequency of my HDX community making millions. I don't need the details. I don't need the how. I don't need any of the other things. I'm just feeling the frequency. So as you can see, some things are just really materialistic, first class. Some things are really important, impactful, HDX wealth. So that would be something that I really want to share with you. Now, Before I finish up, I want to share this dance. And it's a dance between purpose and abundance. You hear me talk about purpose and abundance so much here. And if you're in my community, you hear me talk about it a lot. And the reason why I talk about it so much is because what I've discovered over the years is that you can't have one without the other. That there is this dance. It feels like that, like the infinity sign, the figure of 8 almost, that it dances back and forward. I'm a human that I've always been so driven by purpose. Like, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? What is my purpose? And every time I'd get a sniff at that purpose, all of a sudden I'd be like, oh my God, I don't have enough money to do my purpose. And I would slip backwards. Or, it was this constant dance. And what I've discovered is that purpose and abundance go hand in hand. Because the more abundance we have, the more we're going to surrender to our purpose. And we can't just work on one to then get the other. We have to be willing to spiral up with both of them all at the same time, dancing back and forward. As we start to earn a bit more money, then we surrender more into our purpose. When we surrender more into our purpose, we attract more money, and so on and so forth. So this is something that I'd also want you to sit and contemplate. Does that feel true for you? If it does, well, stop putting so much pressure on yourself to earn all the money. Try to find the balance between purpose and abundance. Go up that flight of stairs together. And if it doesn't resonate with you, if it doesn't feel true, then get rid of it. Just throw it out. That's so fine. No one's offended. So, I'm going to end today's episode with that question one more time. What would make 2024 the best year ever so far for you? I encourage you to look at every area of your life, write down a few dot points, or if you're like me, a whole freaking novel, whatever feels good for you, and get super clear. Because remember, we cannot have what we cannot language. So if you can't get clear on what you want, then you're never going to have it. And this whole journey of just playing around with magically creating these epic lives, well, we just have to know how to feel. We have to go through this process of actually saying, I want this, I want this, I want this, and how would it feel if I had it? And then once you know how to feel, then you're going to create that in your external reality. I trust that you got what you needed from today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm super excited to have you back for another incredible year. So bye for now. I look forward to seeing you, or look forward to having you on the next podcast. Bye for now. Thanks everyone for being here all the way to the end of the podcast. I hope you got lots of value out of it. I certainly had a lot of fun doing it. Could I please ask that you share this podcast with friends if you found it valuable? And also, bonus points, could you leave a review for me as well on Apple? It would be greatly appreciated. If at any point you would like to be on the podcast, or you've got questions that you'd like me to discuss on the podcast, by all means get on my socials and DM me. Everything you need is there in the show notes. Have an awesome day. Bye for now.